as if they've just handed me a bag of dog shit. I get to decide if I'm going to pick it up and carry it around.
Hey there. Welcome to Top of Mind. Real talk for today's woman. With Anna and Karen.
Okay,
Are we back?
we're back.
Woohoo! We're back. So, as you know, we kind of sit just like 10 or 15 minutes. We catch up with each other. We decide what we're going to talk about. And one of the things that we thought we would talk about is it's called the let them theory.
Woo!
And I don't know if any of you are familiar with Mel Robbins, but she has a very interesting story. She was, she kind of was I think a lawyer. Had a lot of anxiety issues, really struggled in her life. And she kind of came up with this rule. It's the 5 4 3 2 1 rule. So basically, the way that works is if she's laying in bed and she doesn't want to get up, she goes 5 4 3 2 1 and she moves. And she became kind of famous with that. And she actually, well, she kind of helped herself with her anxiety and got her life on track and became a motivational speaker. And I had been in, I think maybe I've taken two, maybe three of her coaching programs, where it's more about, it's goal oriented. So I've listened to her talk a lot about let them. So basically the let them theory has its roots in the fact that, and this, I will 100%, I'll make this disclaimer. As a mom, I struggle the shit out of this. But really the roots are that we are not emotionally responsible for other people. That's kind of like the root. So when we talk about emotional responsibility, it's a lot of different things that we can talk about. Like we talked about the power of the pause and our emotional reactions. It's about how you could, emotionally react to someone or how you feel emotionally. And I'm not saying that you hurt someone and you're not emotionally responsible, but we tend to pick up things that are not ours to carry. And I'll digress a little bit because I talk a lot about tennis and paddle. I play paddle, and one of my friends is struggling with a paddle partner because the paddle partner is always saying, that's my ball, whatever. And again, not in a kind way. Can you imagine a bunch of fucking middle-aged women fighting over a ball on a paddle court? Trust me, it happens. But anyway, so what I try to do, and I visualize even with my daughters now, is when someone says something to me that does not feel good, I visualize it like a bag of dog shit, as if they've just handed me a bag of dog shit. I get to decide if I'm going to pick it up and carry it around, or if I'm going to leave it on the ground. Because sometimes we try to transfer our guilt, we try to transfer our emotional issues, we try to transfer our anger to other people. So I visualize it all I swear to God, like a bag of dog shit. And that's part of the power of the pause, but that's also part of let them. So if someone, is mean to you, theory is let them. If somebody wants to walk out of your life, let them. If somebody doesn't want to be there for you in the way that you need them, you got to let them. So it's a very good theory. And again, I use the dog shit. That's how I incorporate, and I have been using that for a long time into my life. But again, it's based on the fact that we can't control other people. And God knows we try like heck to control things that we can't control. I think there was that, and I don't have the visual with me of the things we can control. So what are some of the things we can control, Karen?
Well, I can tell you what we can't control, which is people, places, and things.
See how she just sums it up like a freaking cop. I mean, come on.
No. That's Al-Anon.
So it's true. I mean, so we try to take control of things that we just don't have control over. So the whole let them theory is about releasing that. And I think a lot of it has to do with releasing the expectations, right? So anyway, like you'll see a lot like now. She has a new book. Mel Robbins has a new book that's called Let Them. I've not read them. I can show you my books that are I'm going to be reading soon in the next 2 months, but that's not one of them. Only because I feel like in her coaching program, I kind of understand what she's saying. So now I'm trying to practice the let them theory as it relates to pretty much every avenue of life you can apply it to. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, I haven't read the book, but I do follow Mel Robbins, and
Hmm.
so I've been aware of the let them theory. She's been talking about it in pre-release and things, and I do have the book. It's back there that I
Ah.
started listening to. Um, and absolutely, it just takes me back to the basic. I hate the fact that I sit here and I say everything comes down to AA for me, but it really does. I mean, I was so young when I went in. I
Hmm.
feel like I was so young. It just shaped. It's like AA was my parents. They taught me everything. But I go back to the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Hmm.
And that if you go from those premise, you quickly figure out what you have control of and what you don't. And so by saying let them is letting go of that recognition that you don't have control of it,
Hmm.
and they're going to do what they're going to do, and doing that with grace. The slogan I think about is live and let live.
Hmm.
You know, that was a slogan that, they taught us in AA, and it meant that, and of course, the big thing is live, me. That's the part that I used to forget all the time. Instead, it was let live. And it means loving detachment.
Hmm.
It means letting go of control. In the first place, I learned that was as a counselor. When you hear somebody and you see somebody doing something, or even as a sponsor in AA, you see somebody who's hurting themselves. If you got a child that's hurting themselves, and they're banging their head against the wall. If you give them a pillow, they're going to do that longer.
Hmm.
And it's learning to take away the pillow and just be there until they're ready to stop banging their head. But it's very hard to do that.
Hmm. It is.
But to me, that's what the whole let them theory is all about. Live and let live. It's kind of like, recognizing. I mean, the story that she talks about, where it came from was as her son, Oakley, is graduating. And he had only decided like 3 days before or something that he wanted to graduate. So there were no plans. She had to go and find him a tux and was very proud of herself and this type of stuff. And then found out 20 kids had nowhere to go for dinner that night. And she's freaking that they had not pre-planned that. And she's like, Oakley, what are you going to do? And it was raining out, and they're in gowns and tux, and they say, hey, we're going to go grab pizza at some local stand. And she's like, you can't do, you're graduating? Your
Hmm.
graduation dinner? It was freaking out. And it was her daughter.
And it was raining, and this place
Yep.
was small, and she
All
didn't know
in.
if it was going
Yep.
to house them all. Yep.
And yeah, whether they're going to have enough food, this type of stuff. And her daughter looked, and it's like, this is not your graduation, Mom. It's his. And if
Hmm.
he wants to do that, if they want to do that, let them.
Yep.
Just let them. And that's where it kind of hit her, this
Hmm.
whole kind of idea of letting people, it's letting people make the mistakes,
Yep.
letting people make those choices that you think are separate. It really is a loving detachment. It's not being codependent. It's it's I hate to say it, it's not an original new idea. I mean, nothing
Mhm.
is. It's
Nothing is
just
right. It's
packaged
not
in a way that we can hear it today,
right.
and utilize it.
Yep, and apply it. And I think that's exactly it. That's a great way to look at it, that it's loving detachment. Now, again, as a mom, that's very hard for me. So if my daughter has, you know, emotionally she's, angry at me, it's like I want to make it right. Well, it's not mine to make it right. I have to let her.
Yeah.
In the case of, her description, and Karen, actually, thank you for bringing that up because I was going to bring that up too with Oakley. It's about letting them. It's about letting people be responsible for their own choices. And
Yeah.
you can still be loving and you can still be there for someone, but you don't have to take responsibility. It's not your responsibility to make people's life choices. It's not your responsibility to, again, to make them whole emotionally, things like that. Like you just have to let people be people. So live
Well,
and let live is actually a very good way to look at it.
mhm. And I was just gonna say, you said like, it's not your responsibility, but let's go beyond that. It's not your place.
Right. Yep.
This is where I think we have problems. Like in hers was when her daughter said, "This is not your graduation." And
Hmm.
I think that that's where sometimes we get a bit confused we're controlling. We're trying to control. We're
Yes.
trying to take charge. And so it's not only just loving detachment, it's recognizing that it's not your place. If they ask you for the help and everything,
Hmm. Right.
you know?
Right. And it's so true. And it's again, and I think because we we all have different lenses that we look at things through, and we want to solve problems. And God knows, I think I talked about this even, when my parents were sick, I felt like I was the fixer kind of thing. Like they used to call me the general because
Yes.
there's a problem with the doctor. I was the one in there. And it's a whole different, more, I guess, relaxed kind of way to be.
It definitely is relaxed. It doesn't mean that it's not taking action either. It
No.
it's coming from a different place. I imagine I'm thinking of the term that, when kids are in their teens and when they're in their adulthood, and remember, I'm not a parent, so don't kill me around this, but
Nope.
there's a time we don't own our kids,
No.
but yet emotionally and mentally, a lot of parents still do.
Hmm.
They try to control them, they try to contain them, they try to protect them,
Just.
and it's all done for the sake of love. Well, a lot of people do some warped and bent things in the sake of love.
Hmm.
It doesn't mean that it's pure and good.
Right.
And so when I think of let them, it's kind of learning that you're separate from them. And what do you have control over? The only thing you have control over is you, your reactions, and your own life and your actions.
Yep. I mean, I remember when I was younger, there was this song. I'm pretty sure it's called. It was by Sweet Honey on the Rock, and it's based on. I want to say, is it? I can't say his name. Rumi poem, and it's basically, it says, like your children, they're not your children. They are the sons and the daughters of life longing for itself. They do not come from you. They come through you.
Right.
And and that's just, again, the children thing, but it's so true. But as a mom, sometimes it's like I feel like I know better.
Oh, of course. And you
And
don't want to see them hurt. You want to take them
yeah,
away from.
right. But then again, and God, we got a whole nother thing to talk about, and it has to do with us building our kids to be resilient versus enabling. But that's another subject. But
Yes.
it's true. It's not, but we think, and what I always tell myself, and even coaching clients, even it's like recognizing it's their journey. And we're all on our own journey. Karen's on her journey, Anna's on her journey, Jim's on his journey, Sue is on her journey. And we have to kind of love and respect that journey, knowing that it's not our journey. So
Yes.
that's kind of where I feel like the let them. If someone doesn't want to talk to you, let them. If someone, wants to go to dinner without you, let them. If your friends want to get together and they don't want you there, let them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of the whole theory of let them. But again, you gave them, a great alternative to live and let live. We just gave you some other examples to incorporate. For me, it's like it's their journey. It's recognizing that we're all here on our journey, and it's
Yeah.
unique to every single one of us. So,
And you never want to deprive somebody else of their experience and their learning. And when you look at everything that happens in a person's life, it builds character, you know? Adversity builds character. So if you take adversity out,
yeah,
that I don't know about you, I am where I am today because of adversity.
me
And,
too.
and I like who I am today and where I've come. And it's
Yeah,
only because of those experiences.
yeah, you're so right about that.
So,
But it and it is. But again, it's even those things that may bother you, that someone's maybe they're talking about you,
I
let
have a hard time with that one. Let
yeah.
them? Are you kidding me? It's like a 2x4 to them. Sorry. I mean,
You know what? My theory has always been they're leaving somebody else alone. Have at it, man. Have at it. If
yeah.
they're talking about me, then they're leaving some of their poor soul alone. But yeah.
But what it does do is it reminds me, like something like that. I have to say, it would be very hard for me. I know she gives an example about recently about being left out of her friends that went away.
Hmm.
I didn't invite her, and she found out through Facebook they were all together, and she's scrolling. I was like, oh my god! And it's like, let them. I would have a harder time with that one. But if
Hmm.
I of letting them, it's kind of like because there is a personal friend. But when I think of live and let live, that reminds me that to let go,
Hmm.
because it's not just let them, it's letting go.
Hmm.
And that's what I hear when I say let live.
Yes. Yeah,
So
that's a really good add-on. I think that's a really good way to look at it. Um, but anyway, that's kind of like the let them theory.
yep.
And it's just, yeah, like anything, it's like you a lot of things in life we want to just pick it up and become experts at it. But, we have to look at professional athletes. It takes practice. Nobody just comes out and they're instantly good at anything. So all these things that we've talked about, like the power of pause, the let them theory, it's practice. Practice, practice, practice.
Practice makes perfect, as they say. So,
Yep.
love, what a great way to end it. So, if you haven't read it, get Mel Robbins' book, Let Them. It's out now on Amazon. And I'm going to read it eventually. So, I'll let you know. But I'm
And
sure.
I'll let you know because I got again 8 books here for the
Yes.
next 2 months of my reading. Um,
I
I'll
want to know next time what you're reading. Okay. So,
You got it. We got
okay.
lots of good
Yeah.
stuff coming. And
Maybe we'll
again,
do that. We'll show our books, what we're
yeah,
reading.
share books. If you have any suggestions, things you'd like us to talk about, now beginning again in February, we're going to have 1 week where we're teaching something.
Yes, she
Um,
reminded me tonight.
yeah, so you'll look for if there's something you want to learn about, let us know because we are both knowledge seekers. I think between us, we know a shitload of stuff.
I know. It's amazing.
If there's
So,
something that you're like, hey, I'm really curious about this theory or that, whether it be manifestation, vibration, anything, you just throw it at us and we are
yeah.
your gals. So
We'll research the shit out of it. So,
yep.
anyway.
You let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about, and we look forward to hearing from you. And thank you again for spending your time with us because
We
we love it.
appreciate that.
Yep.
Yes. Yes, we appreciate it. So thank you so much. And any comments, any suggestions down below. And I'm Karen Vale, your mindset and confidence coach, and I am here with
I am Anna Jennings, your midlife mentor.
thanks.